What is up, YouTube? Schmidtward here, checking in. Blade Sentinel, Tier 0, budget build. Here I am, running into Conviction Souls with no lightning res, and I almost get clapped. You don't really need lightning res for this encounter unless you run into Conviction Souls. I think mine was at like 30 or something. Might even be lower than that. We can see in the gear overview. Here I am, going into Phase 1, Mendelin. Blade Sentinel is probably the best assassin build for this encounter, in my opinion. I did Lightning Sentry yesterday. I got 2 kills with it and then just gave up on it because getting the bone prisms down in Phase 2 and Phase 3 just was not it for Lightning Sentry build. Chain Lightning Sentry, much better, and I think that is actually a viable Rathma build for assassin. But my cloner has been Lightning Sentry this season, and yeah, just it was not good with the bone prisms, with even Shockweb, and trying to use Chain Lightning Sentry for the prisms. It just, yeah, it wasn't it. So I kind of built, well, no, I just transitioned my Sin to Blade Sentinel. Blade Sentinel can do Clone and Rathma. My previous video on the channel is pretty much the same gear with some minimal swaps, doing Diablo Clone. So if you want an Assassin Bosser that can do Clone, Rathma, can do Lucian as well, which I have not touched this season yet, and it also does Ubers, I'd highly recommend Blade Sentinel. My gear, super budget, we go over that later at the end of the video, and then I'll just go over gameplay here. For the Mendelin Phase 1, you're really just running around, dodging towers, spamming Blade Sentinel, trying to get the golems down as quick as possible. That first Golem Phase, I actually let one get back to Mendelin, which healed him. I'm honestly not doing a great job of dodging the towers. I start using my Shadow Master, I think probably right after this point. I'm not exactly sure, but that helps kind of direct towers to it and tank towers, where needed. But yeah, this is my first Blade Sentinel run of the season. I'm, using 6 skillers, Torch, and a really bad Annie. My damage could be way better. My Stalker's Cull is pretty trash. That being said, I am overcapped for the 9 frame trap throw, as you do want to overcap for the not Desecrate, the curse you get in Phase 2 and 3 from the Void Knights. I'm drawing a blank. It's not Amp, it's the other one. Oh, geez. I do like playing Necro, I swear. Yeah, that being said, the playstyle for Blade Sentinel is way better in Rathma than it is for Clone. I do notice that my Blade Sentinel clone attempts are using roughly twice the amount of juice that my Lightning Sentry were using, but this fight just feels way more clean. As you can see, I don't even go into this fight with CTA. That was kind of by design, but also I kind of just forgot. And I just didn't want to rip my 5 BO CTA, just doing Tier 0 Rathmas. So, and honestly, after this whole thing, I feel pretty good about not having a CTA in here, although it's possible I might just buy, someone who poorly rolled it and post it for Vex or, less or something, just for the plus skill. It never hurts to have more damage, especially in this fight. So yeah, here we are doing the Rathma Phase 2 portion. Shadow Warrior or Master is super good in here. If you keep the Master close to Rathma, it will eat all the bone spears instead of you. So that's some tech that hopefully you can bring into the fight and utilize that to your advantage. I'm using Nat's armor, so I get the +3 there, and then, Torch, Annie, Andes. My amulet might be, I think my amulet's trapped, so, Shadow Master doesn't get any bonus there. But yeah, Phase 2 Rathma, this is all about just dodging the bone spears however you can. I mean, honestly, you don't even have to use the Shadow Master. You can just listen for the sound and sidestep it. It's pretty basic. The hard part is when you get skeleton ads that cast Fissure, or you get, Void Knights in a sketchy spawn. Here, the Void Knights spawn very spread out. It's kind of just a treat to have a spawn like this, since you're not really worried about them popping on your face and just all casting their shit on you at once. That's definitely a concern you have at higher levels. My PDR is garbage, so like the Fizz Knights are kind of scary, but they're literally the only thing in the fight that you need to worry about. There you can see the curse over me. I'm still drawing a blank on what it's called. It's kind of annoying me, but casting the Shadow Master, tanking Rathma like a fucking champ. I'm just sitting in with Blade Sentinel. That's the one bad thing about Blade Sentinel, is you kind of do just have to sit in on it. You can't kite all that well. I mean, you can. Obviously, you can. You see I'm doing it during portions. Right there, bad Void Knight spawn. They just all, kind of sat on my face there. And luckily, my Shadow Master was up, and I'm sure if you rewatched that, you could see that, the Master probably really helped in that situation. So, yeah, nothing wrong with that. All right, the curse is called Decrepify, and that's what you're overcapping your IAS for. It's not a huge concern in Tier 0, just because, the damage is way lower in here than, like, let's say a Tier 2 fight. So you're not that concerned about dying if you play fairly well. That being said, I get super chunked there. The burst damage in this fight is definitely present. In Clone, it's kind of way more predictable. You kind of know what's coming. In this, Rathma can blink on you, do his little AoE kind of thing that's around him, and then, you could eat a Bone Spear all in one moment and just, go from, let's say, 2200 health to 0. Here I am about to go into Phase 3. Again, this is my first time on Blade Sentinel this season, so I do have some nerves here. No CTA makes it a little simpler. I'm not worried about CTAing. I'm just kind of getting in there, starting the DPS. As you can see, I'm trying to keep my Shadow Master up. We're just, here we are kiting. You can kind of see, like, you throw a Blade Sentinel kite, throw a Blade Sentinel kite. It's not super efficient, just because if you can just sit in and throw your Blade Sentinels, it's going to do a lot more damage. But obviously, you don't want to eat a Bale Wave and a Bone Spear at the same time, or get Bone Prismed. The main thing that Blade Sentinel provides over, let's say, Lightning Sentry for Bone Prism is that, you use it, you throw it out from your body, and right here, like, you're just naturally going to pop those Bone Prisms if you're trying to DPS the boss, which obviously you are 80% of the time when you're not moving. So yeah, it's just naturally good at dealing with Bone Prism. Right there, I'm filling the belt. Could have ate a Bone Spear, didn't have my Shadow Master up. You definitely want to try to keep her up. You're potting enough where, like, mana is never going to be a problem. Honestly, like, during Phase 1 and 2, I was like, oh shoot, maybe I'm going to miss my CTA for, the mana aspect. But honestly, Blade Sentinel barely costs any mana. It's more of a trapper concern, but honestly, that's really only a Diablo clone fight, because in this fight, you're rejuvenating so much that, like, your mana is really never a problem. You can kind of see the Shadow Master really helps in the Void Knight phase, just kind of tanking damage and distracting them, which, I don't think it's doing any damage, but obviously just having, an NPC up to help you kind of, like a mercenary kind of situation is super helpful. So right here, I've got, the skeleton up. I'm kind of ignoring the skeleton just because I have a little max fire res. I'm overcapped for lower res. I'm just trying to get the Void Knights down and then kind of focus on the skeletons. But But yeah, at this point, you know, I'm realizing I got to refill my belt, and that's really the sketchiest part of the fight, is just kind of keeping your juice up. You know, for tier 0, there's not a ton of burst damage that's going to get you. That being said, that Sludge Nova definitely hurt right there. Weapon block is obviously kind of cracked in here. You can block spells, you can block damage, you can literally block everything. So yeah, that's pretty nice. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you have any questions on Blade Sentinel in Rathma, drop them here. Join the Discord. There will be a link in the description for that. There will also be a snapshotted, you know, link to my assassin's gear during this fight, which we're going to go over after the fight. Here, I'm kind of think I might have enough potions to get through the rest, but now I'm just like, you know what, I'm going to refill, you know, my first bar on the belt. And, you know, at that point, I definitely have enough to get through the fight. I'm not sure I need to refill again at that point. And yeah, something beginner players going into Rathma don't really know about is that you do want to only antidote after Mendelin uses his Poison Nova. The Knights can give you poison, but really you're only worried about that Poison Nova from Mendelin, and if you use your antidote during the like Knight's poison, you might have a bad time. Here's the gear, really budget stalkers. This Andes, you know, that Andes could be a one socket, you know, random corrupt with a Gull Rune in it with my setup. The amulet's pretty good, you know, +2, PLR, CBF. Our offhand's absolute trash. We shopped that last night. It's just a basic bitch +4. The Nats chest, literally nothing special. FCR slam, water walks, reduced curse duration, random PLR ring we got from a buddy, high strength belt that kind of gets the job done, but again, nothing special. And then ghoul hides and a random nature's piece. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. We got her done. There I am, just showing that it is tier 0. The charms are very unimpressive. I mentioned earlier in the video, 6 skillers, a lot of res charms just to overcap for LR since we are using burst of speed and not fade. Our torch is like okay, kind of like maybe mid plus, and then our Annie is absolute trash. Shout out Big, thanks for that. Yeah, hope you enjoyed the content. Join the Discord if you have any questions. Here I kind of go over the overcap for tier 0. You're looking to overcap by 25. There's our lightning res 48, which kind of is why we had problem with that convicted soul earlier. The hit recovery is really bad. Like, I'd love to be higher, but I'm not going to invest FHR skillers into a tier 0 farmer. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. And if you have any questions, either, you know, drop a comment here. I'll reply to every comment. That's not a troll comment. And then, yeah, join the Discord, link in the description. We, you know, talk PD2 all the time, Path of Exile, Last Epoch. We're just ARPG enjoyers. And thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. All right, Schmidt, we're out. Later.